You're welcome back to the conversation on News Central Television. In the first half of the show, we did look at a United Nations report indicting Rwanda of involvement in the crisis in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Now it's time for us to switch gears and talk about the Central Bank of Nigeria policies, new policy on cash limits. Now, after pressure heaped on the Central Bank of Nigeria by lawmakers and many Nigerians, the Apex Bank has finally succumbed to calls to adjust the limit on cash withdrawals by individuals and organizations ahead of the distribution of the redesigned Naira notes. The bank had earlier limited over-the-counter cash withdrawals by individuals and corporate entities at 100,000 Naira and 500,000 respectively per week. But the National Assembly prevailed on the CBN to jack up individuals to 500,000 Naira weekly, while corporates will now be allowed to withdraw 5 million Naira weekly. In addition, the new policy stipulates that in the event of compelling circumstances where cash withdrawal exceeds the limits required for legitimate purposes, such a request will attract a processing fee of 3% and 5% for individuals and corporate organizations, respectively. Now, joining us to make sense of all of this is Oluwaseun Olubuyide, an economist and entrepreneur, joins in from Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos. A warm welcome to you, Oluwaseun, and thanks for joining us on the conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Now, Seun, what do you make of the CBN's cash withdrawal limit policy and this latest adjustment to, increase the cash withdrawal limit?
Okay. First, I will try to explain a few things around this policy. So every policy should be friendly in as much as we want to move on or we want to improve. We need to use what I call design thinking. We need to think about the downsides of each policy before we roll them out. This policy at this time, I feel it's not that good. If we look at the journey, this cashless journey, I think that started 2012 when Lamido Sanusi came up with the 2020 objective. So part of this was to reduce huge cost of being associated with cash handling, reduce risk of robbery, increase access to payment options. And now what that has done, that policy from 2012 has done, is a result of the fintech we are seeing right now. You will see that right now almost 60% of Nigerian population they actually buying into the cashless policy. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So now we have points of sales terminals everywhere. If you go to rural areas, you'll be surprised where you find POS terminals everywhere, and people are making living out of this.
But there are concerns. Sorry to jump in, Seun. There are concerns about the underbanked in the rural areas, and that this policy might just put this point of sale terminal operators out of business. Do you think this was a thoroughly thought through idea? Because you said you went us through the way policies should be designed. You should troubleshoot and carry everyone along.
Exactly. So I want to think that this period, maybe they are using this period to troubleshoot, because the deputy governor of CBN said in her statement when she was in the session with the committee that they are open to to improvement. So I want to believe that this is just a troubleshoot phase, like a pilot launch phase. Because,
so what do you think is the central bank's reason for introducing such a drastic measure? Just a few days ago, I saw a release from the Financial Intelligence Unit saying that putting a limit to the amount of cash that state government and government parastatals can withdraw. So why is all of this coming now?
Okay, from a few sessions with the committee, I believe some people think this policy is politically motivated, maybe to curb some politicians in the activity of bribing or buying votes. Yeah. So why is it coming at this time? Because this kind of policy, I believe, should have come even before this time, if it is not motivated by, what I just said now. So this is like a few months to the end of the administration of the governor. So why is it coming at this time? I don't want to say it is politically motivated, but I could see a few things, instigating this at this time. Maybe, like I said,
The vote buying.
Yes, vote buying, and I'm not sure if it's going to curb that, because if you're talking about vote buying, with the politicians, I'm not sure this will stop there, because
what about the you said you're not sure it's going to stop them, but what about the redesign, or should I say the recoloring of the naira? Is that not enough deterrent to those who might be thinking in that way?
Maybe it will curb, say, 40%, because the new notes will be made available, will be in circulation by, let's give and take, January, maybe at the end of January. So it's still the same thing.
So the central bank governor will disagree with you. He says Godwin Emefiele says the policy is for the good of the economy, and he met with Mr. President, who directed him to implement the policy. Do you see any positives in this policy?
Okay, so yeah, in every policy, in as much as even if it is harsh, you might have a few things to benefit if it is not politically motivated. Because the debate, what I'm talking about here is maybe this policy is politically motivated, because if it is to address the economy, Nigerian economy, I think we should focus this energy on reducing the inflation, and not reducing the cash limit, or the withdrawal limit. So we should shift our energy, this same energy, to reducing inflation and not cash. Because without this policy, do you know that without this policy, we've had an increase in from the informal sectors, to formal sector. We've had increase like 4%, 4 point something percent without this policy. If that's what we are driving at, which is supposed to be what we should drive at, but at the moment, I don't think this is going to really help the economy.
Now, some experts and economists have said, this is not a data-driven policy, and data should inform policy decisions, that the amount of cash in circulation to GDP ratio is quite low. And a number of Nigerians have said, this policy will bring about untold hardship to the generality of the public and disruptions. Now that the Nigerian Senate has stepped in, the people's representative, they've spoken, and the CBN has gone back to adjust the withdrawal limit. What are your expectations? Do you think it will remain like this, or do you suggest the CBN just jettisons the entire idea?
I would suggest they should stop. They should stop this at this time, at this moment, because it is not going to really help the economy. It's going to stifle the economy the more, because they look at the informal sector. CBN should create strategies, to sensitize the informal sector about cashless policy. If that is what we are driving at, if that is exactly what we want to achieve, if that is what we want to achieve, not the other stuff.
So there are other ways of achieving that purpose.
If to improve the economy is what we are looking at. Like I said, without this sensitization, without because everybody, even in the rural area, everybody is adopting and adapting to cashless. People are getting used to POS, reducing the cash they handle. So if we want to drive at this point, we should increase the sensitization. A few days ago, when the redesigned notes came out, I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm sure you saw a few videos of market women rejecting the note.
Yes.
No sensitization down. So and that is what I mean when I said design thinking. So if I want to make a policy, for an organization, I need to take every cadre, into consideration
and feedback too.
Yes, from the entry level to the top management, I should, carry everybody along and get feedback before we'll be able to say, okay, yeah, we are done with this policy. So this policy will benefit everybody.
Now, just before I let you go, Seun, the Nigerian Senate, they're the representatives of the people. Do they have the power to put an end to this policy? Because Mr. Emefiele is almost hell-bent on having his way. He says the president likes it. The president has directed him to do so. But does the Nigerian Senate have the power to stop this policy, knowing that it might cause an untold level of hardship for Nigerians who are already going through a lot?
I'm sure they have. I saw a few videos, a few sessions they had, which made it known that the CBN did not consult the House before pushing out this policy, which is not supposed to be. So I feel with that printed, they will be able to, maybe not to stop, but at least to push it up to something that, yes, it won't stifle the economy, especially the informal economy.
And of course, you don't want to disrupt the economy in such a sensitive time where the Naira reacts to every sort of changes.
Yes, because informal economy has really created a lot of jobs. I'm talking about, the statistics I have, about 1.5 million, people, operating
POS.
this business, POS. So let's look at the ripple benefit to the relations. And now, if you're going to stifle this sector with these charges, it means a lot of people will go back to the streets, because now we have many people out of jobs. So and most of them, family people, this is what they are living on.
Very true. Thank you very much, Oluwaseun Olubuyide, for your time and contribution. And we do hope that those in charge of the central bank will do take a good look at this policy and adjust where they need to. Thank you very much once again, Seun, for being our guest, for your time and contribution. We appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
And it's a wrap on the conversation today. In the first half of the program, we did look at the United Nations report indicting Rwanda for involvement in the DRC's Eastern DRC conflict, and we just concluded our conversation on the Nigerian Central Bank of Nigeria amending the cash withdrawal policy. Thank you very much for being a part of today's conversation. As always, I'm Gbenga Aborowa. See you next time. Bye-bye.